Good morning, everybody. It is Tammy coming to you freshly showered, um, often replicated, never duplicated, right? It's Tammy coming to you live from my office this morning. I took the day off yesterday, and man, did it feel good. So as you jump on here, do me a few favors. Number one, say hello and tell me where you're watching from because it is way more fun. It is way more fun with friends. It's way more fun with friends. Number two, speaking of friends, do me a favor and tag them in the comments. Tag them if you got them, because it is our week. It is our holiday week. It is for the week of 420. We are at 418. It's like waiting those last 2 minutes, right? And I have so much stuff on tap this week to be able to hook you all up with some fun stuff, some prizes, some games, some all kinds of things, right? Some all kinds of things. So, good morning, Elizabeth. Good morning, Raven. I hope everyone who got their goodies this week have enjoyed them tremendously. Speaking of which, I had popped a doob tube right before. I was like, I got a second. I got a second. I did not have a second, so that will go back into the bucket for today. But we do have lots of stuff on tap this week. So number one, uh, today we have wake and bake. I made it. I took a shower and everything. Yes, I love that you slept like a baby all weekend. I slept really good this weekend too. I had a 420 cookie on Friday night, and man, I slept my head off. I was tired and I was achy, and I wanted to eat one because I wanted to try it. And speaking of which, give me a sec. I'm gonna go grab it and show it to you. I got it right here. So if you have not done so already, and y'all know the rule, wake and bake, there's no bras allowed on wake and bake. It's why I have to cover the niplets. So as you know, we have our 420 Zoom, and the 420 cookies are ready to go out the door. We have a few of those left. I think I told you how many we have left. If there's a huge run today, I can get them out if you're local. But if you want one by 420 and you're not local, you need to get on it today so I can get it out in the mail today. That is the 420 cookie for our 420 on 420 sesh, our Zoom session. We're going to get on Zoom together. It's a private place and just be adults and laugh and joke and have all the fun. And the cookie is going along with the 420 celebrations. You don't have to have it to join the Zoom, but it'd be a whole lot cooler if you did. You know what I mean? So, speaking of a whole lot cooler if you did, we are doing a raffle this week to help you to grow your medicine. So, let's look and see what we've got going on with our raffle this week. So, we have our 420 raffle. Let me get this banner off here so you can see it. It is $20 per ticket. There are 15 spots, so you got a 1 in 15 shot of winning. Also, a little side note, no one ever loses one of my raffles, so you'll win something. And then it is going to be next gen, our next light, 150 hertz, full spectrum grow light. And that is going to be raffled off this week. There are 15 spots, so you can pick your plant. And each spot gets you an entry into winning that next gen full spectrum grow light. And I'm going to throw in a few extra free beans to go with that, which means you have the seeds to start your grow. We have this is brought to you. This was donated to me by Peaks View Hydro out of Lynchburg, Virginia. So if you are a ganjapreneur or you have a business you would like to partner with me, I would love to partner with you. So Peaks View Hydro is helping me with this next light 150 hertz full spectrum grow light raffle. So you can pick your favorite number and get your ticket for the next gen raffle. I'm hoping to have this sold out by 420. We can do the drawing on the 420 Zoom. Feel free to share this out. Not only will you get the light, you're going to also get a couple of seeds from me and probably a 420 cookie. So just so you know, there's going to be a couple of extra things in with that. So you can make sure to grab your ticket. It'll definitely be worth your while to do so. So that is that. So we have that going on this week. We have our 420 on 420. Let me see if I can pull that up over here and get, how to share my screen and all the things. But it is wake and bake. So tell me in the comments, y'all. Tell me in the comments, what did you do for Easter? Like, do you have to be local? You do not. You do not have to be local at all. That is good for anybody. That light can ship anywhere it needs to ship. It is just equipment. So yes. Now I will say with the raffle, if you are not local, we'll have to work out the shipping cost on that extra. I don't know what it'll be. It shouldn't be too much, but we will work to get it to you at no additional cost just to have it drop shipped to you wherever you are. No problem in the world. No problem in the world. No problem in the world. I'm trying to get myself situated here because I missed Sunday sermon yesterday, and I had some things come in last night and this morning that showed me why sometimes Sunday sermon is not on Sunday mornings, right? Sometimes whenever I come on Sunday mornings, it's always kind of a message. And we've been talking on the Ingenious Ideas Courtesy of Cannabis, right? We've been talking about my to become who you want to become, right? The D program where you have to decide that you deserve more out of your life. And I always tell, like, I said, like, if you heard me, you deserve it, whether you decided it or not, right? You deserve it, always deserve it. It's just deciding that you deserve it to start taking the steps. But if you have not decided yet, I want you to know that you do deserve it, and I'm planting seeds, so you'll hear this one day. Number 2, we talked about defining what it is, what your dream life, what the life that you deserve, the life that you want, the life that you desire, for using D's, right? The life that you desire, right? You have to define what that is, because how do you get anything in this world if you don't know what you want, right? Yeah, I was worried about your blood pressure is crazy. Right. I'm going to tell you a story about that blood pressure thing in a second, Heather. Just 1 second. Y'all, please do me a favor and shoot some heart energy and some love and some light. And I want y'all to pound it. Pound the heart button, pound the like button, send that love energy to Heather. She's been struggling with some health stuff. And we want to make sure we're sending her heart energy and love and healing and light and all that good stuff. And we want to pound it out on the keyboard. So just pound them out on the keyboard. So you have to define what it is that you want, because how do you design the life, right? Which is the next part. How do you design that life that you desire or deserve? How do you design that if you have not defined it, right? If you don't know what it is that you want, then you can't even take the steps to get what you want. And then the last part of that was delivering the life that you desire, right? Delivering yourself the life that you desire. And we've been working on this, talking about this for a while. And we talk about I call it the yin yang, right? I have this little picture of a yin yang that I drew over here. And I was like, so on the other side of all of those D's, right, are a lot of other D's. So when you don't decide that you deserve it, right, you doubt yourself. When you don't define it, you live in depression. When you don't design it and decide what you want for you, then you deal with dependency, because you depend on other people to help you to figure out, like, you just kind of go with the flow, right? And then if you don't deliver to yourself, you disappoint yourself. So there's two sides, like the yin and the yang, right? So you're doing one of the two things normally, right? But there is also a little place of somebody's just blowing me up. It's about the 420. Like, damn, I got a work meeting at 420 on 420. I'm like, that sucks. Sorry. But all of those things are good and dandy and fine, right? And then this weekend, I was like, I kind of go through this. This was a journaling thing. And I think this is a lot of the things that, I always tell you, the power of one, right? And every time I'm pointing this way, the thumb's pointing back at me because I'm talking to myself as well. Blowing my phone up. Let me see what they got here. Somebody's like, damn it, they were scheduling their week and they were trying to put the 420 session in there. So tell me in the comments. Number one, tell me in the comments, are you coming to the 420 on 420? Then I'm going to tell you a story about this blood pressure thing that Heather's dealing with. And I'm going to tell you a story about that, Heather. And then we're going to talk about what came in, why Sunday sermon didn't happen yesterday, and why you have to always trust in God. Let go and let God, right? Trust in source, whatever you call it. For me, I do not subscribe to organized traditional religion. Do I believe that there's a higher power? I do. I believe in Christianity when people act like Christians. But a lot of us, and you can speak to this in the comments even, if you're someone who is more of a witchy woman, right? Or dude, you understand that we don't, here in the Hometown Hippie group, we don't yuck anybody's yum, right? And I believe that there are angels, there are guides, there are spirit helpers, that we are all, we have a soul's purpose, we have soul contracts. I believe every single one of you watching this is in my soul circle, in my soul family, that we have come together in different places, in different planes for different reasons. I gotta turn this off because she's gonna blow me up, and I'm gonna talk back because it's like a what? That's rude, right? I believe all of those things. I don't yuck anybody's yum. I know that soul contracts, yes, exactly. Like we have a soul contract. Like I chose to live the life that I am living in a different time. All the things that are happening in my life were my choice. And I'm going to tell you something that I saw is if you're not changing your circumstances, you're choosing your circumstances. And for years, and I know that Heather has been on the same path. Her and I have been working on the same path. But one of the things for me, it's a trigger. And I don't know if it's a synchronicity or a trigger or what you want to call it. But anytime that I felt like right before I was going on these major like a leveling up of like spirituality, a leveling up of me as a person, like, whatever was happening in my world, my leveling up, it always was precipitated, right? It was always like, kind of like I knew something was getting ready to happen because I would have something medical. And blood pressure was one of those things, right? I had severely high blood pressure for a while where I was on medication for it. Like 180 over 124 on a regular, but I knew it was my diet. I knew it was my stress and my anxiety. I knew that it was me internalizing. But it's interesting that for me, and I'm not saying this for Heather, a lot of things for me, my emotional body or my spiritual and emotional body are very tied to my physical body. So a lot of people, and I'm not saying Heather's been doing this for a while, but if you are newer to maybe your spiritual awakening, to your leveling up, to whatever it may be, in meditations, right? Tell me in the comments, yes, I meditate. No, I don't meditate. Hey, I'd like to know more about meditation. Do you do breath work and meditation? Or if you're watching me right now, I want to know, do you do breath work or meditation? I'm running high like that, 154, 114 this morning. Yeah. So do you meditate, right? And one of the first things that I'm going to give you all a second to answer that. We're going to smoke them if we got them. We're going to smoke them if we got them. It's wake and bake. Because I got some stuff today. We're going to be a minute. It's Monday. I'm going to light my cigarette because I'm allowed to smoke cigarettes. And we're going to talk. So, yes. Okay. Elizabeth Clark says yes. She meditates. Who else? Yes or no? I need to know. We got 5 people watching. Do you or do you not meditate? Do you do breath work? Do you take that moment to kind of like, I'm going to tell you why. I'll give you a second. I know there's a lag, so I'm going to keep going. Okay. So if you have meditated, if you meditate, if you no, but I can stay in stressful moments. I can. Okay. So Raven, I'm very surprised that you do not meditate. We're going to talk about that today. We're going to do a little meditation today too. Okay. Um, when you start doing meditations, the first thing I always suggest to people is to start with just number one, breath work, right? Number one, your breath work, which is just basically shutting down your brain as much as you can and focusing on your breath. So the first thing that I learned to do was just to like shut everything out. And when I got squirrely, I just focused back on my breathing. And that is inhale, right? We smell the birthday cake. And we blow out the candle. So we inhale good shit through the nose and we exhale the bad shit through the mouth, right? And that's the first thing that you can do is you can start that meditation process by focusing on breath. Now, the second thing that you'll learn if you're doing meditation, usually we always say start with a guided meditation. That's how I started with doing guided meditations and listening and trying to get myself into that pattern. I can now meditate without that, but a guided meditation works. They telling you to scan your body, right? Through those first like introductory level meditations and breath work, the first thing that they want you to do, right? Because before you can be in tune and know, before you can kind of like pick up on the hints about what source or your guides or your body is trying to tell you, it's that you have to slow down enough to be able to be in tune with your body so that you can tell when something's not exactly right. Or you can start feeling where energy is stuck in your body so that you can then start doing the work to figure it out. So when I started this process, like Heather, I had a butt ton of blood pressure issues. I had high blood sugar issues. I had a lot of physical ailments that I went to the doctor about over and over and over. And the doctors would run tests and they would find little things off my blood work that were off, but they were always attributing it to, hey, if you lost a little bit of weight, you might feel better. Or, hey, I was like defeated, right? Versus understanding that, energy is infinite and there's places in your body that you can severely, your emotional and spiritual body can really play havoc on your physical body, right? The higher you vibrate, the less physical ailments you tend to have. I'm just being honest. It's true. Because you can become in tune with it. And what happens is you start making better options and better choices for your body. I did that. Like when I started this process, I started feeling it all. And I realized that the extra 100 pounds of weight I was carrying around was causing some of my physical ailments, right? The pack of cigarettes a day that I was smoking was causing some of my physical ailments, right? A lot of my, all of my, hang on. People are just blowing me up today. Okay. So what I had to do, right? What I had to do was I had to figure out what the root cause of all the things were. What the root cause. And Heather, I love you. It's 99% medical. I got you. But I'm going to tell you this, okay? There's definitely medical things that happen. For me, emotional body and physical body were directly tied together. It's also whenever I was getting ready to level up. Now, right now, we're in this full moon, this Aries full moon in Taurus or whatever, Aries full moon in Taurus kind of craziness, right? This pink moon. And if you look for me, for a Libra, I'm a Libra. For me, it was all about exactly what's happening with you, right? It's about like be prepared because it's shadow work that you thought was resolved, relationship shadow work. And this weekend I had allergies. My body was physically tired. I was I was a hot mess. I was a whole hot mess. This weekend, I just didn't feel great. Like I was thinking the same thing. It's very physically demanding. I've worked my ass off this week. I'm tired. And then I realized, right? And I realized I journaled some last night. And we're going to talk about what happened last night, right? Why Sunday sermon didn't happen and why the D stuff was important. And, I was like, it says stuff, the relationships are going to come up. And, yes, exactly, Heather, exactly. And you do need the help, and you do need the help. I am hoping that the medication is going to work for you. I am hoping that there's a simple solution that they can come up with. Um, Things like that are very scary. They very much are scary, and I understand that. I get migraines to where the vision fades, and I know that that I'm saying, like, for me, the blood pressure and all of those big medical scary things were also attached to big scary shadow work things that I did not even realize that I had to work through, that really were like the precipice of my awakening, right? And that's when mine flared up. And that's the story I have with it. And I am never going to discount that when you have a physical or a medical emergency, that not everything is cured by meditation, by breath work. I do know for me, using meditation and breath work helped me to scan my body. That's what we're talking about, like being able to slow down enough, right, to feel where the energy in my body was stuck, and I was able to push some of that through. And that's all I'm saying. And I get that, right, and I get that. But I just wonder if there is something that with the meditation and the breath work that you're able, if you're watching this, right, if you're watching this, you're dealing with something physical, that you may be able to pinpoint where in the body it is, right, by doing the breath work and meditation. And like I said, you're very in tune to your body, you already do these things. But for somebody who's new to this is a great way to be able to heal thyself. Not everything can be healed by yourself. Sometimes medication needs to be had. Now, for me, I will also tell you this, Heather. Watch the strains. Watch the strains that you're smoking. There's certain, like, do research and look and find the ones that are going to slow down and lower, because some sativas, I know for me, worked me up, and I know that I had worse blood pressure with certain sativas. Certain sativas can jack me through the roof, and I can't touch them. They still to this day like make me have, I call it an eye headache. It's when the pain shoots out of your eye because it's blood pressure related. So just be careful with the strain that you're smoking. Now, so if you are someone who does meditation and you do breath work and you are able to do that, um, so what I said, that Sunday sermon didn't happen yesterday. I took the morning off yesterday. I didn't get up until after 10. Yes, for sure. Indica is your friend right now. I got you, girl, on that. So what I want you to do is this, right? What I want y'all to remember is that everything happens for a reason. Every single thing in the world happens for a reason. I woke up yesterday at 10:15, and I woke up in a panic. And I was like, fuck, 15 minutes late for Sunday sermon. It's Easter. I really wanted to do that. I'm like, but people are doing stuff with their family today. I really just don't feel like peopling today. I'm having family over this afternoon. I want to lay around in my pajamas with no bra on, with my hair a mess for as long as I possibly can today, and do absolutely nothing. So by the time I woke up, Red had gone to the store. He had come back with a few things that I needed to finish up Easter dinner, because he told me he would go since we didn't go Saturday. We were supposed to go Saturday, whole thing. Never mind. And he had made he made me egg sandwiches for breakfast. I sat in my chair. I played on the interwebs. I watched some Netflix. I just chilled out yesterday. And I was sitting there and I was having all of this anxiety in my chair yesterday. I was like, oh, I didn't do what I said I was going to do. I need to be as good as my word. I was like, you know what? My word and what I say that I'm going to do is, right, and y'all know this, is that I am going to give you my best. In every circumstance, In every circumstance, you are getting the best that I have to give in that moment, because I promised myself that I would be doing that from now on, right? In every circumstance, I'm going to do my best. And whenever you live your life, like I was like, why am I sitting here feeling guilty? I did the best I could do today, right? I did the best that I could do today. I'm allowed to do this. Why am I sitting here like, positive self-talk? I'm like, stop talking to yourself that way, Tammy. You're listening. Stop listening to this nonsense, right? Start you have to start believing what you're telling everybody, right? You have to listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. And I'm like, okay, you're right. All right, I don't care anymore. So I was like, Red's like, what's wrong? Because he knows whenever I do this, he'll see me do that several times. A reset, a pattern interrupt, a reset. He's like, what's wrong? And he sometimes thinks that he's triggered that deep breath most of the time, because he'll say something. I'll go, no, babe, that's fine. He's like, what? Tell me the truth. I'm like, no. I said, sweetheart, in that moment, I was really doing some negative self-talk, and not every time I huff and puff is what he calls it. Every time I huff and puff, it is honestly most 99.9% of the time I'm huff and puffing at my internal monologue, nothing external. Please do not assume. Please do not take it personal. Read the 4 agreements, right? And he's like, okay, fine, whatever. So he goes and does his thing. Like, I literally did not feel guilty at all about anything yesterday. And I'm like, I'm not going to. There's no reason to. And I felt so much better when I let go of that. Like, my hands didn't hurt as much. 124/90 Wake and Bake was just the medicine I needed this morning. It hasn't come down that fast in 2 days. I am so very glad. We're going to do it again. We're going to get her down to like 110/80. We're going for 110/80. When I released that, when I took that deep breath yesterday and said, listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. Do what you said. Say what you say. What is it? Seek what you say until you see what you said, or something like that. I think I had a thing up about that. Like, right? Speak what you seek until you see what you said. But do it. Like, it's like, stop talking about it, Tammy, and start being about it, Tammy. Like, you're right. Sunday, is my house spotless? No. Is my house clean to the outside eye? Yep. Was dinner got done perfectly timed. I didn't have to like cook it all day, because it didn't take all day. Like, I literally like finished dinner at the time dinner should be finished, versus like an hour beforehand and then fiddle around, right? Normally, if my sister's bringing a dessert, I'll get up and make an extra one just in case she doesn't bring one or she doesn't show up, so I have dessert. Like, that's why nobody ever brings anything to my parties or my house for holidays. Whenever like, what can I bring? I'm like, just yourself. And my husband's like, why do you never let anyone bring anything? I'm like, because it's trauma response for me, right? This is my trauma response, is that I don't depend on anybody for anything. And if I'm planning a meal and I want my meal to be planned like that, if I know that if I make it all, that it's all there. That if I say I have a menu and that's on the menu, that it's on there. And nobody's going to call me last minute or say they're bringing green beans and bring peas, right? And not mess up my whole plan. So for me, it's trauma response, especially when I do holiday dinners and stuff like that. It usually works me up. And yesterday I knew it was going to happen, right? And it's probably why I slept late and all the stuff. But, everything went fine. And I was sitting in my chair last night. And I was taking some time for myself. I try to do that on Sunday evenings. Like, I didn't get up yesterday and update the menu. I'm like, the menu is fine. The special this week is the 420 cookies. We have Peace, Love, and Feast Fest. I've got a raffle going on. I started going through. I was like, plenty of stuff on the menu. Everything's good. We do have something new this week. The 420 cookies. Tammy, calm down, right? I was sitting in my chair doing that whole thing again. And I was like, whoa, right? Practice makes perfect. Progress over perfection. I'm like, okay, sliding back into it. Into the evening, get a little anxious. Kind of how things happen. Red's asleep in the chair. I'm by myself. Kind of my mind's reeling. And I turn on my shows. And one of my favorite shows was a rerun. Easter night, I guess I didn't have a new one, or maybe last week was the last one. I don't know. And there was a conversation between 2 characters. And the guy looks at the girl and he says, "You're upset about your actions." Because some stuff went on. I'm not gonna go into the whole plot. It's not about that, but it's sometimes when you hear things, even if it's through like TV shows, even if it's through that stinking song that's still playing. So I have not heard the message yet. "What's Up" by 4 9 Blondes. Even if it is a video and you keep seeing it, or even if it is words that keep popping in, synchronicities, right? Synchronicities. And he says that as you step into becoming more, you get more obsessed about your actions, basically. This is the gist of it, right? As you step into being more, the reason that you get wound up over decisions that you make is because you know that they matter, because you decide that you matter. So your decisions matter. So you get more worked up over them. But the key was this. He says there's two kinds of people in this world, right? There are people who things happen to. There are people who tell the story about the things that happen to them. And then there are people who make things happen. And that jumped out. Can I get an amen, hallelujah, if you believe that? That there are two kinds of people in this world. There are people that things happen to, and people who make things happen. Does that make sense to anybody? Tell me in the comments, which one are you? Do you make things happen? Or do you tell the story of the things that have happened to you? Are you defined by the things that have happened to you in your life? Is that your story? Or are you telling the story of how you made things happen in your life? Neither answer is wrong. Neither answer is wrong. Because the world, it takes all kinds of people to make the world go round. Right? Make it happen, right? Amen. Now, here's the thing. If you're someone who things happen to, some people live a life and existence, and that's the choices that they make, that they're just not the person to make things happen. Things just happen to me. It's just, I go with the flow. Things just happen to me. But let me ask a question. Are you happy with letting things happen? That's what it matters, right? I don't yuck anybody's yum. Do not. You live, you do you, boo. You do you, boo. Right? Now, how you live your life is 100%. How you live your life is 100% your decision. 100% your decision. 100% your consequences. That's why I can let people live their life, because what you do in your life, right? What you do in your life, I'm not going to allow it to affect my life. Now, you can live your life however you want to, right? Everybody has that option. You also have the 100% option to decide who you're going to let into your life. Who are you going to choose to be around? Because here's the thing, if you are someone who is not choosing the things that align with the things that I would choose, if you are living your life in a way that I feel like I don't align with you, I do not want you not to eat. I want you to eat. I want you to be full, and I want you to be healthy, and happy. You're just not going to eat at my table. I'm just not going to feed you, right? I just choose not to be in your area. That's just how I live. Like, I'm like, you can do you. You can make that choice. And I have family members who are like, why don't you hang out with me? I'm like, because I don't choose to live you can do it. I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you. You live your life however you see fit to live your life. And then I can choose whether or not I allow you to be a part of mine. That's a consequence. It's not a judgment or any of those things, right? Now, Elizabeth, I want to approach this. Elizabeth says, I do both. I hate being bipolar. It's awesome. I don't negate mental health issues, okay? But I'm going to encourage you. You're part of the Grateful Fed community, and I love you. And if I have lots and lots and lots of you in here who are bipolar, who have mental health, and this is part of your medication. I get that. Energy transfer. But I'm going to tell you this, right? Don't let your mental health be the reason that things happen to you. Um, there is power in owning your decisions. There's power, and here's the thing, right? Power versus force. Power, it comes back to power versus force all the time, right? I have the power to decide when, where, what, why, how for me. You're not going to force me to hang out with you. Like you're not going to force me to feel any different. I'm not going to force you to change your ways. I can't. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to continue to plant the seeds of love and light and healing and doing your best and being impeccable with your language and doing things from a heart-centered place and not being an asshole, right? Because that's my biggest goal. Don't be an asshole. Just don't choose not to be. Choose peace, right? Pop. Um, but I get like I'm really choked up. Like I'm super choked up today because I feel like there needs to be some hard messages. And are you someone that things happen to, or are you someone who make things happen? And I am struggling right now with being someone who makes things happen because when we talk about this today's message, I told you it was interesting how this was going to come out today. Um, I love each and every one of you. I love each and every one of you, right? Sometimes I see things and I'm like, and I've had, and this is something that's, it's struggle busting for me, right? It's struggle busting for me because I'm trying to align. I don't yuck anybody's yum. I'm trying to align, stand in your power. I'm trying to align, not being in a place of judgment with not understanding. And I know that as someone who is new in this journey and someone who, when you shine bright like a lighthouse, when you shine like a lighthouse, when you shine bright, and that light flies out, right? What's attracted to light? What's attracted to light a lot of times? Anybody know what's attracted to light a lot of times? Anybody know? Anybody want to tell me what's attracted to bright lights? Bright lights. Bugs. Thank you, Heather. Heather said bugs. Bugs. Right? And I get a message at 2 a.m. from somebody in the Grateful Fed community. Probably no one watching because they're probably asleep now. Hey, I need some money. I need to pay my power bill. Get the fuck out of here. It's 2 o'clock on a Saturday morning. You need some drugs, and you're trying to get me, who's very nice, to send you money because I feel bad. People messaging me, asking me this and that and the other. And I know you got it. I see your business is doing well. And it's right. Well, you say you're all about helping people, but are you? And do I have the money in the bank to send somebody $50 on a Saturday night? I have $50 in my bank account. I 100% do. But do I have $50 in my bank account to send to somebody to enable them to make a bad choice at 2 a.m.? How do you align that conversation? Because I'm not the person to be. My husband's like, tell them to go fuck themselves and leave you alone, block them. And I'm like, to me, that's a desperate cry, right? Now, and that's enabling, not helping. I know it. I don't give the money. I never give the money, but I'm struggling on how to. I'm struggling on how to have that conversation versus saying, I'm sorry, I just don't have it. that's what I say. I'm sorry, I just don't have it. Or here's what I normally say. And if you've messaged me, you'll know. I was like, I don't loan money. I don't loan money and I don't give money because it causes problems. And if I do it for one, I have to do it for all, and I can't do it for everybody, or I wish I could. And then they get nasty. And I've done it because y'all know I have a brother who is in jail right now for substance abuse issues, right? For substance abuse issues, for drugs. And he would do that. You know, he would love bomb to try to get something. Hey, I need it. Can I get it? He just wanted, and then if I said no, it would be the whole like, well, fuck you, I hate you, you suck, you don't love me, you don't do this, you don't do that, this is the reasons why, and you're a hypocrite, blah, 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 blah. And this is the shadow work that I'm working through. This is the shadow work that I am working through, is how to align that tough love, right? Heather said it right there. How to align that tough love and be proactive, because I feel like, right? I feel like there's a calling there. I feel like there is a testimony. I feel like it is because of the amount of people that have been like doing that, the people that I'm shocked by doing that, the people that I am sad for that are doing that, the people that are struggling still through that. It hurts my soul to know that there are families still being ripped apart by all of this craziness. Then there's the people, when I say no, that they don't need, because it's people that I know enough to say, hey, you don't need this money right now. If your power bill is due, then on Monday, let's go together to the power company and we'll take care of it for you. Right? But I know that you want something that you shouldn't have right now. And then they want to like get nasty with me and say, well, you sell edibles and you're no better than me. And how can you judge just because my vice isn't your vice, blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to be honest. There is and here's where it is, right? Here's where it's at. So tell me in the comments if you're on your spiritual awakening, if you are trying to align your namaste, sending love and light with your fuck around and find out side. Anybody having to put those two together and get them to like figure out where in the center as a Libra I need that balance? Anybody else have that issue with yes, right? Power versus power. And I asked Spirit to be with them. But there's so much, like there's like something boiling inside of me, and it's probably something that needs to come out, right? And this is where I got back to, are you someone who makes things happen? Are you someone who things happen to? And every single one of us, that's why I said there's no right or wrong answers. And I'm so glad that Elizabeth was very honest about this, right? She's, I do both. I hate being bipolar. I'm not blaming. I want you to stop taking that bipolar and like allowing that to be an excuse, because it's not. I know you're not using an excuse. I know you don't mean it that way, baby. I know you don't. I'm not saying that in a bad way. But here's the thing, right? We all do both. And it's not about being bipolar. We all do both. Right now, I have this guttural burning. I need to stand outside under the full moon. I just need to scream it out, right? And it's like something about like the love and light of my, like the amount of like love inside of me. Like it could leak out of my face. Like I love the people in this world, and every one of you. I'm going to get upset because it really is a big deal for me. My heart breaks for the ugliness in this world. The guttural burning that I'm feeling is the screaming of the out loud screaming, right? This, the why, right? The what the hell, the what the F, the all the things is like, there's resources. There's all of these things. I don't understand why people are still living their life in a way that they don't make anything happen, that all their life consists of is things, one thing after the other, happening to them because of the choices. They're choosing it. Don't get me wrong. Things are not just happening. They're not. They're worrying, which is putting things into the universe that's praying for things you don't want to happen. I just know I'm going to get evicted. Then you 100% are, right? um, it's the lack of like, I'm done living in this shit life of mine. Like and you can't want it for people. I can't do it for every single person. I can only do it for me. And someone who is a type A personality, who is a take charge kind of person, who I probably would never in my life, if somebody asked the question, are you someone who makes things happen, or are you someone who things happen to? Never in my 48 years of life, if someone asked me that question, would I ever have said someone that things happen to. As a 1-year-old, like, I make things happen. I have always been that type A, get in and get it done kind of person. My mother told me at 3 years old, I was telling her how to rearrange the furniture in the house because it didn't look good. Like, she was rearranging the living room based on a 3-year-old's recommendations. I've always been a leader. And when I see the craziness of the world, when I see the same exact decisions being made over and over again, and it's obvious, and they'll say to me, they'll come to me and they'll talk to me about it, and they'll say, I know I'm an idiot. You're telling yourself you're an idiot and you are a self-fulfilling prophecy. But it's like, I'm like, I can't say it out loud because that's not love and light and all the nice stuff. And it's not that I'm being fat, and I feel I'm having this out of alignment thing, right? I'm having this huge out of alignment thing. And it came from hearing that, are you someone who things happen to, or someone who makes things happen? And then there was a discussion in this show about the person who said that, because I kind of aligned with this person. And then they said this, and this is where I got out of my head. And I'm coming to y'all with it because y'all are my soul family. And I know that, and Heather, I thank you. Thank you so much. And I know that I don't know how negative it is. It's probably on the negative spectrum as far as how it vibrates. It's a sadness. It is a I want to cry. Like, I just want to sit here today and just cry out all the tears that I have for all the things happening. People getting shot in subways, just blowing up people for no reason in another country because you're crazy and don't care enough about it. Chasing down innocent people and running them over with cars. There's so much stuff. There's so much big stuff. And then there's people out here just making dumbass decisions that, yeah, meth's a great idea on a Saturday. Yeah, let me go grab some heroin because that makes good sense. And I see all of these families, local people that I know. I don't know what it's like where you are, but I see these people and their moms are crying and their dads are having strokes, and like, what in the world? Like, why? Right? And it's not for you to know. It's not for me to wonder why. And learning to have to, like, in this spiritual awakening and in this journey that I'm on, right, of all of the things, plants over pills. I mean, part of Hometown Hippie, a lot of Hometown Hippie has arisen out of a hope and a desire that people will stop going to big pharma, right? That they will stop utilizing opioids that are going to lead to worse and harder things, right? My doctor prescribed it. And I'm not saying that, like Heather and we talked about, like, you might need your blood pressure medicine 100%. But I can guarantee you, I know, I don't have words to describe the amount of physical pain, right, that lupus and RA causes me on a regular basis. There are days that I get up and I can't even wipe my ass, y'all. I'm serious. It's like I cry to go pee in the morning. I'm like, Let me get the shower and wash it because it hurts that bad. Like until I get hot water on my hands and I take some deep breaths and I'm like, okay, God, I need you today. I'm asking for a full and complete restoration for the hours that you can give it to me, right? Give me the hours you got because I'm gonna take them. And that I don't eat pain pills. And I'm not saying like, well, good for you, because I hear that all. Good for you, Tammy. I'm telling you, it is nothing more than a choice. Oh, huge shadow work for me. Because y'all, I told you it was the 90s. I grew up in a different time. It's not like I haven't tried these things. I'm gonna be honest. I've never, ever, ever, ever tried heroin. Ever. Never tried crack. Like never tried any of those like the drugs that they talk about on TV. I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna be a crackhead. That's not gonna be my drug of choice. I'm like, I'm more of a Wall Street kind of drug user, like a little cocaine, a little Molly, like back in the 90s. But I've never done heroin and I've never done crack. And I get that they're so addictive. I've never done meth, none of that kind of crap. It's never been on my agenda because I don't know. Your body is your temple. We've all done stupid shit. I used to drink my face off and eat hydrocodone when I was catering. It was how I got through the catering shift back in the late 1990s. And I know there are people who watch me and go, "How can you even talk about drugs when you are a drug dealer?" Like what are you doing? Like people said, "Tammy, why did you get banned from your from Facebook for 24 hours?" Like I don't know, selling drugs on the internet. I was like push my luck every day, right? I'm doing a service. I take my chances. I was like, if they find a post that I don't argue. I'm like, I do not ask for a second decision. I don't want them to look at my track record like, yeah, you pretty much have violated community standards forever. If I don't yuck anybody's yum, right? It's a whole alignment thing. Like Heather said, this is hard. We're losing people on the daily. It is shadow work for me. But what I tell people is this, and this is what I have to align, right? Common sense. There are levels to everything. Anything to the extreme is bad. Anything that takes over your life is bad. Be it work, be it play, be it drugs, be it video games, whatever you're addicted to, right? Addiction is the problem. Addiction is the issue. But I come on here and I'll tell you all this because if you're somebody who keeps saying that you're someone who lives in the things happen to me, because you're looking at people who appear on the outside and who come on here and act strong and have a message and have a platform. I come on here when I cry. I come on here when I laugh. I come on here when my makeup's done. I come here when my makeup's not done because I am a person. I'm a real freaking person. I struggle with aligning my own emotions. I am not a fake person. And this is when I know, right? This is the kind of thing that helps me to know that I'm not a fraud, right? That I don't have imposter syndrome, that we're all on that struggle bus a little bit, right? We're all struggling on, do I do one or do I do the other, right? Do I do one or do I do the other? And that when you're seeing things on the internet, because that's what a lot of this is about, right? It's like you go out and I watch these people. I go out and I can look at the people on the internet, like influencers or personalities or TikTok famous people. And I have talked to some people who have over 2 million followers on TikTok on a phone call. Like, hey, want to collaborate. They want to do some videos. I was like, okay, cool. That's kind of fun. But when I talked to them and got to like know them as people, y'all don't know. Like I really believe that everybody sees me on here like in all different like times and phases and stuff that you pretty much know. Like if you've been to my house, people pick up here. Elizabeth picks up here. Who else picks up here? What's watching today? Only Heather and Elizabeth are commenting, and Raven's been by. So I am just, and she's met me in person. So what you see is what you get. 1,000,000,000,000,000%. I'm going to tell you that the people that I've met on like online presence, and Kim, I didn't see you on there. Kim, hey, yes, girl. And Kim sees me, and I'm just as who I am, inside out, upside down, backwards and forwards. I am me. I try to be as my husband's like, you are so like just you on the internet. It's like it's almost like people are in our house. It's like it's weird. He's like, it just seems like just like talking to you in person. I was like, I try to make it that way. Because I have met people who I have talked to online and like we had robust conversations. We got face to face and they could not open their mouth. Like texting, they didn't have like a conversation like this, but they would be like texting and messaging. And like I thought they had like a head on their shoulders. They were, and I'm just like apparently the most gregoriously outgoing, like friendly person because they're like, hi. I'm like, we've been talking for months. Hi, how are you? They're like, fine. Sorry, I'm a little shy. I'm like, what? Mind blown. Like that is not you at all. And I get it. We all have characters we play, but I just believe that it's easier just to be me than it is to play a character. And that's the thing. Heather, God, Heather just reads my mind sometimes, right? Heather just reads my mind sometimes. Just like with all of these people, right, that I've met, that I've come into contact with, that maybe I've met online through this kind of thing. We get together and it's like, no, there's like it's just weird. They're not talkative. They're not the same person. Like I was like, so that's why I'm talking about. Like I aligned with your character, and because that's not really who you are, I'm going to choose not to interact with this situation. And that's a lot of it, right? And that's where it comes down to, Heather. It comes down to, she's like, I know what is right, but like everyone else, I make hard choices sometimes too. If it's not the right one, I'll get it eventually. And that's the big thing, right? The big thing is not the setback. It's not the setback, it's the comeback. And that's where the alignment comes in, Heather. That's where the alignment comes in. Because here's the thing, right? When I look and I say, why are they doing this? What is going on? The reason that it's bothering me, right? Because nothing we do is about the other person. And that's why it bothers me so bad. Because I know that if it's bothering me, I'm projecting what am I seeing in that person? What am I seeing that's me? Where am I in this? Because that's the honest to God's truth. Think about everything of it, right? Think about all of the things in the world. When I talk about that, what someone thinks of me is none of my business because that's what their perception is. And that's why it's hard for me to have those. Who am I? Who am I? I don't live their life. I don't walk in their shoes, right? I can only control the interaction we have together. So I can love them from the balcony, right? I can love them from outside. I can love them and want them to eat, but not be at my table. But why am I so upset by it? Because the only reason that I'm this upset about it is because if I'm seeing something that I'm like, I don't do those things. So what am I seeing that is bugging me so bad? Where is the ego gripping? What is it gripping onto? Is it the stubbornness? Because that's the thing. That's the thing, right? The inability to ask for help. I don't know. Like I look at it and I try to go through it. And I'm like, where am I at in this? What am I projecting? What vibration is this? Why am I resenting? That's not anger. That's jealousy. What am I jealous of? Right? I start going through the cycle. And that's part of the alignment piece too, right? Is understanding that if what you think of me is none of my business because it's about you, not me, then what is it? And that's where I'm having the issue, right? That's where I am like not trying to do the shadow work. That's where I am trying to align myself with like, how do I do as do as you say, not as you do, or do as you do, not as you say. Like, how am I any better? And then source goes, you're not. And then God comes in that big booming voice, right? It says, that's your lesson. That's where you need to get aligned. You think that you're better than, and you're not better than. And then I go, oh, I don't think that. And he's like, yeah, you do. I'm telling you. You asked for it. Now I'm telling you. In meditation, right? After you hear that last night, it's coming out. Before, I hear that last night. And then I'm like, I need a moment before I go and kind of wrestle with that because I want some sleep tonight. Why? Why is all of this bothering me? Why are the people who things happen to pissing me off so bad? Why? Right? It's because I think I have some kind of power over that, right? I think that my words are going to fix it. Like, they heard me say it. Don't they understand it? This person's like, they don't give a fuck what you say. Here's another person. You got to remember that. Like, I talk to you and you listen. You're better. You're coming to terms, but you just got to keep being the light. I'm going to keep putting batteries in you. Right? I'm going to keep putting batteries in you. The law of large numbers, right? You got to keep planting the seeds. You got to keep swatting the bugs. That's your cross to bear. Stop trying to force everybody to do it. That's not your job, Tammy. That's my job. That's their job. They've got to fix them. You can't fix anybody. That's not what you're here to do. That is not your job. Your job is to make delicious edibles and plant seeds. Your job is to live your life as an example. You can't control their life. But maybe if they want to live your life, maybe if they want to have $50 in the bank account on Saturday to send to their crackhead friends who stayed crackheads, right? Maybe you keep living your life in the way that it's the beacon as the light, right? And some of the bugs you'll attract will not get zapped, but they'll learn to stay a little distance from the sun and to create their own light, right? What is that TikTok is like? What's up with my sunshine today? Pew, 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 pew. But don't worry, you'll be your own sun one day. That's the next video I see. And it's like, see? Give them your sun while they need your sun, and know and trust that when it's their time to shine, they will. Everybody's got their own journey. You're 48 years old, Tammy. Some of these people are in their 20s. Were you doing anything different in your 20s? Is that what you're seeing? Like, you want them to learn before they have shitty credit and have to start over at 50? That's that's the shadow work. That's how this whole thing works, right? I don't like seeing that because I was somebody for so many years that would say things just happen. Would say, nope, I control it all, but things would just continue to keep happening to me. When you learn to take control of yourself, right, and lead by true example, to be truly unbothered, right, to be truly unbothered. Now, did I recover from that quicker? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Do I hold my power and not give money away? Yes, 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 yes. Is it a struggle and something that I hate to even say no? I hate to say no. If I can say yes, I always try to say yes. If I can figure out a way to say yes, I say yes. Always. Always, always, always. Right? Maybe that's my lesson. Maybe all this is not about them. It's about Source and God telling me, you need to learn to say no, and practice makes perfect. So it goes back to victim or victor. It goes back to not why me, but why not me. Right? And when the load seems heavy, y'all, when the load seems the heaviest, you're learning the most, and you're going to end up coming on the other side stronger than you ever were. right? When you're carrying 50-pound weights, you're going to come out, with some good ass muscles and strong arms and a strong back and all of that. So if you are feeling right now, right, you are feeling some kind of way right now, right? You're feeling defeated or sad or angry. Feel your feelings. Like I had to feel all my feelings, right? Um, take some time. Take some time to take the deep breaths, right? Realize if somebody's pissing you off, look at them and say, okay, what am I seeing myself? Where am I seeing me in this? What is the lesson? Sometimes it's a big lesson. Sometimes it's a little lesson, right? Sometimes I just don't look good in yellow and I'm mad that she does. And I know it's by yellow. Right. Um, but that's how things work, right? And this is me being authentic. There are days, and I start feeling guilty about just saying when somebody else like, why? I'm like, I have to stop. I'm not gonna be mad. Number one, I hold a boundary. I'm like, first of all, do I even need to respond to this at 2 a.m.? Because I have nothing to say at 2 a.m. I was asleep. And I'm going to allow my phone to, and that's the thing is like normally, and here's the truth of the matter. Once in a blue moon, I'm on my phone at that time, like in the kitchen, in the living room or something. Like it's usually like between midnight and 2 when that happens. And it's usually on a really bad pain night, so I'm already grouchy. But most of the time I wake up to it. I have messages missed and it dings or whatever. I heard it ding and I'm like, get up in the morning, I'm like looking at it, I'm like, and I message back at 6 a.m. I love to message them back at 6 a.m. Like, hey, just got this message. Sorry, I can't help you. And they'll message something back like, don't worry about it. It was straight, or I was drinking. Sorry. I'm like, mm-hmm. Because then they feel stupid, right? When you don't respond back until like 6 a.m. and they're like, at that point asleep. So, or 7 a.m. But we have lots of stuff going on this week that is not about shadow work, that is not about being sad, that is not about bearing a cross, that is not about things happening to you, right? Now, here's how you make things happen. Number one, let's help you to get your grow light. This is the most expensive part of growing, honestly, is going to be your light. And this is a Next Light 150 hertz full spectrum grow light. It's our 420 raffle. There are 15 spots. So you got a 1 in 15 shot. You're going to get $20 a ticket to claim your ticket below. So for $20, you can get this $300 light, $400 light. Get your raffle ticket. It's also going to come with a seed, guaranteed feminized seed. And it's also going to come with a 420 cookie. So you're going to get some extra prizes with that. I might do like a second and third prize for like a 420 cookie. So I might give away couple extra 420 cookies. On top of that are some extra things. Like I'm going to do some raffles this week. So make sure you get your raffle tickets. I'm also going to do a 420 raffle that I'm going to do a bunch of like a t-shirt, some stickers, some brownies, some cookies, some whoopie pies. Like during the 420 live, we're going to do some raffles. So you got to have a ticket to be in it to win it. If you got one of these tickets, you can get in on this raffle for some of those prizes. I'll probably do like 3 with that one. I might actually add, we'll see. I might actually add 10 more spots, and that might be our raffle. So that'll be the grand prize. Is that might be what I do, and I might just do raffles all day during 420. What do y'all think about that? Yes or no? What do y'all think about me adding like 10 more spots to that, which will give us like 25 entries? And there'll be prizes all during the 420. There'll be stickers and cookies and Munchie of the Month boxes and maybe some pre-rolls. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do a big, maybe even some of these. I got a couple of these. What do y'all think? Y'all want to do a big 420 raffle day for our 420 raffle? We can also do the raffle in the group all day long. I'll put it out there to see what y'all think. Let me watch the girls there. I have been on here long enough. I am going to do something that I normally do on Sundays. Yes, I love it. So I'm going to do our card affirmation for the week. I feel like we need to do that this week. It's the week of 420. We've got the Revive. If you're local, I'm also doing the Peace, Love, and Feast Fest. We are going to. I have not gotten any feedback from anybody, so we're gonna go to Wilkes Lake at 10 a.m. on Saturday. I'm doing the posters today. We are going to do a meditation. I'm gonna find one and I'm gonna do the meditation. I guess I haven't gotten a yoga person to like say yes, I'll lead the meditation and some flow yoga. So I guess I will do it, and then we're gonna break for the day. We're going to do that from like 10 to 11. We're going to meet there and just kind of get together and say hey and do whatever. And then at 11, I'm going to go do a beautification. We're going to go do clean up the world, like go clean up the planet. I'm going to do the Appomattox River, clean that up, and then probably do a little High Bridge Trail and clean that up. And then 420, we're going to come together for a high tea. I'm probably just going to like be in a restaurant. I'm thinking probably the deck at the tasting cellar, or the deck at Charlie's. And I might get a couple of crab dips. Like I'll put a couple appetizers out, and then whoever wants to come just fellowship that afternoon, we can. 420, we'll do a high tea. You can get a 420 box, like a 420 cookie if you want it before then, or Earth Day something. So I got some things going on this week. So if you got plans for Saturday, come on out over here to Farmville and hang out with me. If you just can come for the morning or you just can come from the afternoon, that's fine as well. I would love to have you all out and about. Let's do a little meditation today, right? We're going to do a little something today. It's a rainy day here in Virginia. We're going to get ourselves together. I've got lots of stuff I need to get done today. And I'm sure you do too. So here's what we're going to do, right? I want you to do me a favor. Number one, I want you to tag somebody in the comments real quick that's not watching. We got 3 of you watching. I want to see if we can get to 6 people. And then we're going to take some deep breaths. So like I said, the first thing when you're trying to slow down and kind of like get yourself centered is to start doing your breath work. And that's going to be breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Now, slow, deep breaths through your mouth, filling up your lungs. When you get to the top, if you can just hold it a minute, try to suck in a little bit more air. That's the best thing. Someone told me it's kind of like when you take that breath, feel like you're pumping some kind of fluid up your spine. Like I try to do it and slowly like feel like my spine is straightening. And then I hold it at the top, and then I just like I want everything that's just holding me back and that's crappy. I want to just let go of all of that in this moment, right? Just for this moment. I'm congested from allergies, y'all. It is what it is. We're going to take 3 of those, okay? Now, if you have like something like going on, a lot of times when I have to like exhale, I'll like exhale that gutturally. I'm like, ugh. Like just, oh, and I'll do that until that stops, right? Until that goes to a. When I'm back there, I know that I'm done with those deep cleansing breaths. Sometimes that takes me 3 breaths. Sometimes that takes me 30 minutes before I can just like exhale cleanly. And that's just an easy meditation, just focusing on breath, just to like get your body to reset. Now, if you add in your deep breaths, now once you take those 3 deep ones where you kind of like, and then I want you to just kind of like relax in, right? I want you to kind of lean back with those deep breaths. I want you to close your eyes. I'm going to close mine. I can't see anything. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to drop those shoulders. Take that cleansing breath. Take another one of those. In through the nose. Hold it. Out through the mouth with like a deep cleansing. And then I want you to just kind of focus and relax into your normal breathing pattern. Like don't try to force it. However that looks for you. Then I want you to imagine coming in, right? Coming in from the cosmos, from the heavens, from above you. A bright white light. or a bright light. It could be blue, it could be green, it could be purple, it could be violet flame, whatever energy it is that you're calling in. I always try to call in that white, loving light, that like just that source light, right? That white, that bright white light of protection. You're going to see like a spotlight coming down from the cosmos, right in through your crown, like right into the top of your head. You're going to feel that kind of warm white light energy enter the top of your head. And then with using your breaths, I want with every inhale, you fill up with the light, and with the exhale, it pushes its way down through you, going into your ajna or your third eye, down into the throat, feeling the warm, healing energy of that white light going down into the heart. Feel protected. You feel healthy. You feel calm as it moves down to the solar plexus. All is well. All is in divine time. That exhale, you're going to push it down a little further into that base, sacral. Then you're going to feel it moving through your thighs and making your legs a little tingly, and you have this planted firmly on the ground. With every inhale and exhale, you're going to feel the light warming you up, and then it moves down through your legs into your calves, relaxing your legs, wiggling your toes. As that light continues down through your bottoms of your feet into the core base of the planet, every exhale, it goes deeper and wider until it busts through the other side of the planet, through the magma and the heat of the earth, and it connects back to that white light in the cosmos, making that circuit, that complete circle of that energy, that healing, that safety. That is your energy protection for the day. Deep breath in, deep breath out. I want you to start wiggling your toes. I want you to start feeling all of your body coming back. You're back in the room where you're at. Open your eyes, and you are back here with me. So as we do that, we've cleared our energy space out. It's like, I can feel that warm, light energy. And that's one of the things you can do if you are trying to protect your energy or to create space for yourself, is to take a moment to take everything out of your mind and kind of have that white light push its way through. I hope that helped. Have you ever done that? I love that meditation. That's my morning kind of like, let me get in tune with my body, because as I push that white light down, I can also feel where I have a little stuck energy, and I know to kind of focus on that, to push that through and out. And I'm excited to get my Reiki certification so I can really start doing attunements on those places. Ooh, we're going to pull this. This one kind of jumped out at me. We're going to pull that out. Interesting. I think that's for me, though. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right. Do y'all want to see what the cards we pulled? We pulled 3. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, here we go. First card that came out and jumped out at me was Lepidolite. All right? Lepidolite. It says, recall your dreams. And then it came into Rainbow Obsidian. And Rainbow Obsidian says to heal your heart. And then Chrysocolla says start fresh. I've got Chrysocolla, it says start fresh. And these cards are exactly the message that we needed today. Because it's like remember your dreams. Remember what your dreams were. Heal your heart to achieve your dreams. And then don't forget, once you heal your heart, you can always start fresh. That's what came out to me. Now let's see what the book has to say. Because I know it goes into a little bit deeper, right? So recalling your dreams. And I've gotten that card a couple of times for me. That's okay. You are consistent. It's okay. We are reading a card right now. We're going to do a lepidolite. This is for the group, and it says to recall your dreams. I think we just had that card. It's interesting that I keep pulling the same kind of cards out when there's so many in here that I've never seen. Yeah. Okay. So what this one is going to tell you, it's kind of going, this is the message that's coming in for me, and it's coming in strong. That was a good meditation. Thank you for my angels, gods, and helpers that are here for me. Let me get my pendulum out. Let me see if this is the message that I'm getting for everybody. And I'm going to ask that question. I'm going to say, is this lepidolite message that's coming in, which is a little bit off from the book, but not really? Is this the message for the group, or is it the message for the group? And it's giving me a yes. Is this a message for me? It's going in a circle. So it's saying it's both. It's for you, but you're part of the group. So stop doing that. Okay. So here's the message that I'm getting. And it started with me reading this, right? Discover a new dimension of yourself by tapping into the power of the invisible dream world. There's so much information accessible to you within the symbols and storylines of your dreams. They offer a deeper method of understanding and self-reflection, a way to expand beyond the physical realm and learn from your subconscious mind. Start by asking yourself a question before you go to bed and see if you can work out the answer in your dreams. When you awake, write down all of the details you can recall. Making this a regular practice will allow you to access the subconscious information about yourself. Now, the message I got from this was it's step 2, right? It was step 2. Step 1 was that exact thing we just did, right? Step 1 was quieting your mind enough, right, to listen to yourself. To listen to yourself. Step 2 is writing it down. It's journaling. It's journaling it. Because a lot of things won't make sense to you in the moment, but you'll go back and you'll recall journal, which is read back through it. And it's like an aha moment or something will go off. And I'm telling you, that's what the message that I was getting is that who is journaling? Tell me in the comments, yes or no, if you are journaling. No right or wrong answers. You know that. Just yes or no if you are journaling. I journal. I journal. I journal often, not as often lately as I should be. I've got some notes on my phone, but I journal. And most of the things that come in to these messages, right, comes from recall journaling, which is something that I wrote down after a dream, something I wrote down after like a meditation, because I feel like daydreaming is like meditation visualization. And a lot of that came from that. So the message that I'm getting is for me and for you is to spend some time today. Now, this is where this book is so important. Lisa, I journal. I journal sometimes on the notes on my phone. I'll talk into my phone. I have note cards. You can journal anywhere. Don't have to be serious about it. Just find, good morning, everybody. Go find something to write things down. Journaling is so important. And this is what I love about our weekly affirmations, is the core questions, right? The next section of this book is the core questions. And this is where people who don't know how to journal, I love this. It helps me so much. So what you do is you write this question down. What was my last vivid dream? And then you write about it in your journal or your piece of paper or whatever, right? It gives you a writing prompt and something to write about. What happened after a dream that felt like it had a message, right? This is the way that many of you who are new on this journey are going to start seeing the synchronicities and start meeting your spirit team. So if you have not done so yet, you can introduce yourself to your spirit guides by doing these kind of steps, okay? The next question is, what messages can I uncover from my dream state? So if you are someone who does not journal yet, like Elizabeth, go get her journal. You should be journaling. Then these are questions that help you with that automatic writing. And then I love to also journal the actions, like the crystal actions or the affirmations. and affirm. And this is how you'll actually be able to achieve this or manifest this, is by affirming, I am enlightened by messages from my dream self. If you say that out loud enough, you will manifest it, and then you will get the messages that you just desire. The next time you wake up, recall your dreams in a journal as soon as you can. So keep your journal by your bed. I'm going to encourage y'all for the next 7 days to keep your journal by your bed. I have a dream journal. Where's my dream journal? Which one's my? It's in my bedroom. It's the dream journal, right? And that is the one that you write in right when you get up. A lot of times that's my phone. I'm like, I had the weirdest dream last night, and I'll go back and look at it. I'm like, oh, okay. So interesting there. So the first thing is to like be enlightened by your dream self, which is getting in touch with being able to journal and keep track of things and understanding when you're getting messages and what they mean. Like for me, I walked through it today with y'all, right? Are you someone who makes things happen, or someone that things happen to? How these messages come into you are, it's crazy how it happens, but they do happen in crazy, crazy ways. Now, the next card that I pulled was the Rainbow Obsidian card, and it says to heal your heart, right? So, and I tell you, like, it's always pointing to you and pointing back at myself. So let's see what Rainbow Obsidian has to say about healing your heart. Rainbow Obsidian. Oh my goodness, yes. Yes, Heather, exactly. Rainbow Obsidian. You are strong and resilient, and you are capable of working through the deepest of human emotions. The heart is both the most fragile and the most powerful element of our physical, emotional, and spiritual well being. Trust that no matter how exposed or pained you may feel, you have the power to recover and heal. It's not the setback, it's the comeback. We just talked about this today. You're healed. From the loss of a loved one, a relationship, a beloved pet, or even a job, we've all experienced grief. Whether that event happened recently or long ago, a variety of emotions may surface at any given time as a part of the grieving process. Allow your emotions to come up so you can acknowledge and then release them in order to fill that space with new love, light, and hope. Now, I've been dealing with grief shadow work for a minute, right? For a hot ass minute. And that's interesting that a lot of that's probably coming from the grief trigger, the grief shadow work that I've been dealing with. But what this is telling me, the message that's coming in for this, again, it's not the setback, it's the comeback. And does things happen to you, or do you make things happen, right? And things like loss and grief that's the place where we live in. I can't believe this happened to me, right? Because you're never going to make someone like, get hurt or make someone, not be here anymore. Like it's never going to be something that we feel like we made happen, right? And we never should. But a lot of us, right? A lot of people who don't have that things happen to me reason, we get caught in grief with like, what could we have done to make it better? How did I let this happen, right? So exactly, it's a different process for everybody. So that's why the message is heal your heart, because the only heart you can heal from grief, the only way that you can come on the other side of that is that you learn, right? That is the one emotion I feel like we all believe that only us understand, right? It's always perception, because we know that nobody else had that relationship with that person, that thing, that place, that pet, whatever it is that we had, because we are the only other person on the planet besides the person that we interacted with that had our relationship, right? And you understand that that's very personal, and grief is very personal. It's the one thing that we allow to be very personal, that everybody agrees, you're right, I don't know how you feel. So sometimes we get stuck in that things happening to me in a grief situation. I know that I did for a long time. So the core questions with the Rainbow Obsidian for your journaling: when have you experienced a loss of any kind? Because that's a lot of people just grieve over the loss, grief over losing in general. It doesn't matter what they're losing. And here's the thing, right? That's another thing about grief, and this is coming in strong, relationships, whatever. It's that people who've had shitty relationships, like people who are getting divorced or they've lost a spouse and or they're breaking up or whatever, and the relationship was awful. Like everybody around it was like, that was toxic. that relationship is awful. And when everybody around you is so happy to see something dissolve, you're very welcome for your gifts. You're very welcome for your gifts. I'm not sure who this is. I've sent gifts out to lots of people. I'm not sure who that is. So say hi and tell me who it is. Um, but that's like grief, like that's so personal because like everyone around you can be rejoicing in that thing ending, but you are so sad. And like, I don't understand why you're upset. He was awful or she was awful. Hey, Gracie Pooh, you're so very welcome. Can you explain? Yes, that's what I'm explaining, right? It's that grief is very personal. It's very much about you. Um, we all deal with our grief in our own specific and individual way. And healing your heart is very personal. It's very, 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 very personal. And no one can heal your heart but you. And I feel like whenever you're on an awakening or spiritual journey, when you lean into so many people to help you with like learning, like to meditate or learning to journal, whenever you're grieving, how is it selfish? I don't believe that it's selfish. I don't believe that it's selfish. Did I say it was selfish? Grief to me is a form of self. Oh, you're talking to each other. Um, just have to not let it consume us. It's one of those things that we can. I feel like I fell into a selfish place with grief because I was so. It was the thing that consumed me so much that I didn't want anybody else to have. It was mine. It was the one thing that was mine, and you couldn't have it. Right? My husband's like, "How can I help you with your mom?" And I'm like, "You can't." And so in that right, you're being selfish with that grief, right? That's yours. That's only yours to handle. Now, I'm not saying that it's selfish in a way in which, you're being bad to people because you're grieving. You're not. You're not. I'm saying it's selfish because it's like I didn't want anybody in. I didn't want anybody in to help me with it. It was mine. It was my cross to bear. I had to feel this way. And until I decided, right, to live to live while I was grieving versus to stop living and just grieve, right? I was in a place where I was just grieving. That's who I was consumed by it, right? And I was so confused by that. I was so sorry about that. But yeah, I do see the sides to that. I do see the ways you can look at that. Um, and I was so consumed by it that I didn't think anybody else grieved. Nobody else missed her like I did. Nobody else missed my mom like I did. Nobody. And I was exactly correct. It didn't mean that nobody else was hurting. It's just that my grief was so big that I couldn't believe anybody else could feel like I felt. Yep. Yep. And still live. That's exactly it. It's been proven that a loss of a man changed women biologically. There are true cases of dying of a broken heart. And it's not just about, same way with men whenever they're married for a very long time, partners and love connections. For me, I was very selfish. Like all I did was I was my grief. My grief consumed me, and I was angry and I was mad. And if you try to be nice, I was like, "Why are you being so nice?" If you're trying to be mean, like, "Why are you being mean?" I'm grieving. So I was very much like a whole hot mess. It says, "Did you allow yourself the time and space to grieve?" And I felt like I did not. Right. I felt like I was in a constant struggle with myself, a constant struggle if I should have just allowed myself to have the grief, and I felt like I could have moved past it, but I wasn't in a place to understand that, right? I was in that, let's plan a funeral, let's do all these things, and then I'm just sad all the other times. It was awful. What would aid in your grieving process, right? And I had to do shadow work for me. Like I've been through this grieving process, and like the way that the pastor at my mom's funeral said it, he's like, grief is like going through hills and valleys. And right now, the hills are really high and the valleys are really low. He said, but as the grief process and as you move past it, he says, there's still going to be hills and valleys. You're never going to get over it. It's a journey. Grief is a journey, and you will always be on the journey. However, as your journey goes on, your hills will be less high, your valleys will be less low, and you will learn that the journey is not, as it goes on, it gets a lot easier, right? It's never gone. You're always on the grief journey, but the depths of the valleys and the heights of the mountains are just a little bit easier to get up and down. And so that always brought me a little comfort in thinking about that. I'm like, right now I'm in the Depot Valley, or I'm climbing this giant mountain. Because anything I had to do was a task, was climbing that mountain. And then when I got to my bed and I could lay in it, right? My mom's I lost my mom in 2017. Her and I, it wasn't a day that I was on this planet that she wasn't, that I didn't speak to her. My mom was 1 million trillion quadruple percent my best friend. And I can say that I probably had a little, I lost my job. I lost my house. I just gave up. Right. And that was selfish on my part. And I realized that I was doing the same things to my family that my mom was doing to me by not taking care of herself. And I had to come to terms with that. That was what my shadow work was. And we're all different, Lisa. And it doesn't mean that in that bad way. Right. And Melanie says that she's always been able to deal with grief quickly, and put it in its place and put it away. Then she lost her son. It was the worst pain ever. She's still living this every day. It's hard to breathe sometimes. Yep. Death has changed me forever, but it's not scary. And Lisa, you know what? She was, and here's the thing: like, it's okay. It's okay to be selfish sometimes. I was okay with it. Like, I'm okay with it. Like, my mom was my best friend. And in that grief process at the beginning, I'm sorry, but yes, I was being selfish. And I'm okay with that. And I owned that, and I'm okay with it. It was not fair to my husband or my son or my sister or my nieces and nephews. I withdrew all those things. But I'm okay with that. Like, for that moment, I was the best I could do. Right. I was doing the best I could. And the best I could do on the day of my mom's funeral was a lot different than the best I could do now that I'm 4 years on the other side of it. Right. But every day I did the best I could. And I'm learning to resolve that. Right. I'm learning to say, yes, we do things in life, and it's nothing wrong with owning it. Right. There's nothing wrong with owning it. And when I was in that grief, I couldn't have acknowledged it. But as the other side of it, I can definitely acknowledge it now. So I'm glad that it's talking about healing your heart, because all the good things that I do in my world come from that heart space. So you definitely need to heal your heart and get on the other side of those things. Affirm, right? Here's the affirmation: to feel is to heal. Today, give yourself permission to feel whatever emotions come up. Let them go and cry if you need to, so you can create your space to heal. And I can't tell you that 4 years after a death is your timeline, because it might not be, right? It might not be. Melanie, it might take you 14 years, right? Lisa, I'm not sure how long it's been since your mom passed away, but you probably have not been on the other side of it, right? Not on the other side of it yet. Every single person has their own grief process, and that's the selfish piece. And selfish does not need to be a bad word, right? Because I might take longer than my sister. It might take me longer to deal with it than my nephew. Exactly. And that's what I say. It's that, that's how I started looking at it, was that I could be sad forever. But how lucky am I to have had a mom that I never doubted for one day of my entire existence, to this day, to this moment, right? That she loved me and she loved me with unconditionally. No matter what I did, that woman loved me unconditionally. I never, ever, ever doubted a day in my life that my mother didn't love me. And I had her for 47, or I say that, 45 years. I had her for 45 years. I have her for the rest of my life, but I had her here physically with me. And there's some people who lost their mother when they were a child. Some people who lost their mother when they were 20. Some people who lost their mother at times when it just was not, why did I lose my mom when I was 5, right? Yes. Yes, I wasn't sure of the timeline. That's all, Lisa. And here's the thing. My mom is my guardian angel. Like, she is over my, I call her in, y'all. Every pineapple upside down cake that y'all eat, that is my mama, because I channel her in. I'm like, all right, mom, your claim to fame was you never had a pineapple upside down cake stick, so I don't need any sticking. I'm like, come on through my hands, mama. Boom, right? Boom. Yay, hey, we're almost done anyhow, Tanya. And then the last card I pulled today was Chrysocala. I can never say these crystals correctly. Chrysocala or Chrysocala. I'm Southern too, so I'm not sure where the emphasis on the right syllable, So Chrysocala, and if you're from somewhere else, you might say it Chrysocala. Chrysocala. I don't know how people say it. That's how I say it. And it says to start fresh, right? So after we have kind of like realized the messages we're getting and we have come to terms and healed our heart, it is now time for us to start fresh. Um, and Melanie, that's your lesson, baby. That's your lesson, right? You have to learn to live without him. I know it's hard to do, but you have to learn to live. And he's not here, and you're never without him because he's always in your heart, right? He's always 100% with you, just in a renewed body, just in a body with no pain. So you have to learn to live again. And that's what I had to do. And let me tell y'all, when I was laying there, I was like, my mom had diabetes and high blood pressure, and she was severely obese and just did what she wanted to do. And she had smoked cigarettes her whole life and had lung disease and COPD and all the things. And her health was 1,000,000 trillion% her choices. My mother killed herself slowly with bad life choices. End of story. Period in the story. My grief came from aligning the anger I had with how she lived her life. Because I'm like, you could have been here with me. It was a selfish reason. I was angry with her. I'm like, you decided to do this to yourself. You made all of these shitty choices. And I came on the other side, like, how am I mad? Then I felt guilty for being angry. And then I laid in my bed and smoked cigarettes and ate until I was 300 pounds. And my blood pressure was high, and I was on metformin. They're going to put me on insulin. And I said, I am doing the same thing. My sadness can't make me do the same thing. I need to stop letting things happen to me. And when I took control back and I said, I love you, but I'm mad at you, but I forgive you, because I do. There's nothing I can change about it now. I love you for all the wonderful things. I think that it was shitty, and I'm sad that you didn't learn to love yourself in a time frame in which you could have done something to be here for your grandkids and for us a little bit longer. But you had your soul lived its purpose, and uh, my mom was passed away. She was 43, I mean 63, not even 65, not even, yeah, she was young. Yeah, all the things. And you know, I was like, Mom, we owned restaurants. She just ate cheeseburgers and French fries and chicken things. She loved deliciously gross food. She just did. And she, smoked cigarettes and ate. She loved a oatmeal cream pie and a ho ho. She just literally let her depression eat her to death. And that's what she did. She was definitely had mental health issues, 100%, in her own way. I can see it now. You know what I mean? I didn't see it then. She probably had autoimmune. She was type 2 diabetic, all the things. She would eat what she wanted, give herself insulin. And I realized that I was pissed. And I had to align being pissed with loving and grieving and all the things. And I still work through it. And my mom would never take don't you can't be mad at me. I'm dead. My mom's voice in my head. Anybody that knew my mom would say, you can't be mad at Mama. Like, Tammy, you can't be mad at me right now. I'm dead. You can't be mad at your mama because she's dead. That's some shit she would say. And I'd be like, you're right, Mama, I can't be mad at you. But I'm like, I can love you and be mad at you. I love myself and I'm mad at myself all the time. Right? Especially when you're like, you did it. You did all of these things. And that's where, like, this big part of my heart talked about earlier, right? When you see all these younger people who you love making all these shitty decisions, when you see them making these bad choices, because it's in the moment and it's fun in the moment, and you made all those bad choices, you're like, do it sooner rather than later. Stop staying up till 4 a.m. Stop not getting sleep. Stop doing those things because it's gonna matter. And that's why, I have to align it all, right? I have to align it all. with keep being the light, right? You don't like me right now? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But I have to keep being the light, and the bugs are going to keep coming, and I'm going to keep planting the seeds, and that's what God wants me to do. That's my goal, right? I'm a perfectly imperfect person. I have the same emotions all of you have, right? But you just got to keep swimming. You got to keep on swimming. You got to start fresh. That's what I did. That's what I did. I got up out of the bed. Number one, I got up and I was like, what can I control? Yes, exactly. I was like, I love you right now. I don't like you. Exactly. I love you, but I don't like you. And that happens, right? But here's the thing, Lisa. A lot of people can say that, right? I love you, but I don't like you. I love you, but I don't want to hear the shit, right? Um, you can love someone, but not like them 1,000,000,000,000,000%. I love so many people that I don't like right now that I want to shake the ever loving shit out of and be like, what are you doing? I can't change it. I can't walk it. I can't want it enough. All those things, right? And it's interesting when you start fresh, right? You have to start fresh. It says it's time to start fresh. Close the door behind you so you can move forward and open a new one. Every day is a blank canvas. An opportunity to boldly go after the things in life you want and leave behind anything you don't. Okay. Okay, so I got a lot of stuff coming in. So somebody, if you're watching this, don't leave because it's for you. I got to read the rest of this, but I got a lot of stuff coming in. You don't need to settle for the status quo or accept what already is. You have the power to change your life and do things differently every day. It's time to live by an out with the old, in with the new, and beautiful mentality. What's coming in for me is that a lot of people are not changing because you don't think that you can. You think that changing is requiring this huge, gigantic thing where all your friends will leave you and you'll be on an island by yourself and all of the things. And it's like it's easier just to stay like I am and skirt it. So whoever's out there skirting something is like you got one toe into the deep end and you're trying to put one toe into the shallow end where you're safe, but you got one toe still stuck in the deep end with all the craziness because you're scared of. I don't know what you're scared of. You're scared of growing up is what it feels like. It's like the true, like it's time, but I'm a little scared of what that means, how that looks, what that means. And I'm going to tell you, get out of the deep end because that toe end's going to take your toe off. And I don't know who this is for, but somebody is playing in the deep end that needs to stay out of the deep end. It's going to end badly. It's going to end badly. It's going to end badly. That's interesting. I did not know that. I'm gonna take your class next time, I promise. Core questions. What areas of your life are calling for a fresh start? What can you say goodbye to and what can you welcome into your life? Because that's what's happening, right? When you have one toe in the deep end, you are blocking your blessing. Because a lot of time, if you don't get out of the deep end and like get rid of that negative shit that's over there, that stuff that's holding you back, you have that one little thing that's like things that make things happen or things happening to you. It's just because you've got to commit to making room for the good. To start fresh, you've got to make room for the good. I've got like, I don't even know what this is. It's like, you're not going to be able to welcome the prosperity into your life with your toe in the deep end. It's that last little piece of holding on. It's that last little piece of gripping that you've got to release to be able to welcome. So release to welcome the abundance that your life has for you. There are big things for your life. But keeping your toe in that deep end, keeping yourself trying to play both sides of the court, like play both sides of the fence, right? You got to be all in. Yep. Crystal affirmations. Affirm. This is what I need you to affirm for me today. I welcome the opportunities each new day brings. Today, tidy or redecorate a space. Welcome new life by adding fresh flowers or potted plants. What it is saying is out with the old, in with the new. Make room for the newness in your world, right? Start fresh. And there's nothing wrong with starting fresh, right? A lot of us hold on to the old because we feel it's comfortable. It's comfortable. It's familiar. It's easy. But people who make things happen don't rely on the easy. People who things happen to, right? That's how they operate. Um, I'm gonna go out and stand in the rain today and scream. I know I am. I can feel it. Um, I'm gonna pop this up here. We got a little deep today, not a lot deeper than I probably not. This is a Wake and Bake and Sunday sermon combined into one. But don't forget, I'm gonna add some spots to this before I put it up, and we're gonna do a bunch of different raffles. And one of them is going to be the Next Light 150 hertz full spectrum grow light. $20 per ticket. I'm going to do a bunch of other things on this raffle as well. We're going to add some new spots, I think. And we're going to do some t-shirts, some pre-rolls, some carts, the grow light, some goodies, free subscription box. We're going to do all kinds of stuff, and we're going to do that on Wednesday. So make sure you grab your ticket. I'm going to get off here today. I need to go outside and do some guttural screaming. You can buy more than one spot, yes. You can definitely buy more than one spot. I will send out. I'll post it just a little bit. I love each and every one of you. Go out today, and if you are the light, be the light. If you are called to be the light, be the light. Allow the bugs to keep coming at you. Just keep planting the seeds of heart energy and love space and all the good stuff. And know that you are divinely guided, always in divine time. We're going to out with the old, in with the new. We're going to recall journal. We're going to heal our hearts. We're going to take some good deep breaths. We're going to remember to put our love protection and our energy up. And know that you are loved. You are part of the Grateful Fed community if you are here. There are people here that love you. If you're one of those people who, like, if you're feeling like you're a bug, know that you can, if you're feeling like a moth, right? Go into your cocoon and come out a butterfly. You can do it, right? All it takes is getting rid of the stuff that doesn't serve you and allowing the blessings that are waiting for you to come into your life. Yes, I'm extremely grateful that you found this site. Go back and watch the replay. Be the best that you can be today. If the best that you can be today is on the couch watching Netflix, then get on the couch and watch Netflix. If the best that you can be today is a guide and a light and a help to somebody else, then go be a guide and a light to help somebody else. Remember the power of one. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You have to fill yourself up first. So if today the power of one, and I feel like today's power of one is a lot about taking care of you. So if the only person that you can make a difference for in the world today is yourself, I'm going to encourage you to send yourself some love energy, for you to go outside and dance in the rain like I'm going to do some guttural yells, whatever you need to do. And I want you to take care of you today. And then tomorrow you can go out and you can be the change and this world needs for one other person, and then encourage them to be the change for one more person. And the power of one and the power of one and so on and so forth. You need to take care of you today as well, because you can't help mama feel better if you don't feel better. So you don't want to be out on a boat if you can't get your blood pressure down. I'm just saying, I love you. I don't want you to get hurt. But I feel like today is about taking care of self so that you can then take care of others. On that note, as always, peace, love, and feast. And I encourage everybody to stay elevated. If you placed an order over the weekend, I'm going to be going in and invoicing this morning. If you've not gotten your 420 cookie, get it. I'm going to update and put the new raffle spots back up. And on that note, y'all have a beautiful day. I love each and every one of you. And self-love is never selfish. Thank you, Leisha. I love you so much. I'm glad that you're on the other side of your grief with me as well. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad every single one of you have chosen to be a part of the Grateful Fed community. And I will talk to you on the flip side. Later.